Welcome to Donington Park. It's the final round of 2017. The Thundersport Superteens rollout championship has been decided after yesterday. There is no appearance from Matt Bauer, who had a bit of a mountain to climb, but Charlie Farrer has been declared the Thundersport Superteen champion for 2017. So well done to him. There he is, number 102. A great season for the rider from Easington on his Kawasaki 300. But there's still a couple of races here to bring you, a couple of gaps on the grid as well. The Superteens, of course, featuring Aprilia 125cc production motorcycles, the 450R, which is, of course, half the power of the 450, the Kawasaki 300s, and also a couple of KTMs out there. No Yamahas today. Franco Bourne it is. Sorry, no, that's Harry Lee, isn't it? That's got off to the best start. Franco Bourne coming into this weekend, by the way, while I mention him, at number 21. Did have a mathematical chance of finishing inside the top 3 this weekend, but that was put to bed yesterday. Jodie Fieldhouse, someone just had a major wobble further back. Jodie Fieldhouse, she has got herself that 3rd place overall in the championship, and that didn't sound very good, and it's not. Down the road there, and we've lost a rider almost immediately. I'm trying to work out who that is that's just gone down. Couldn't quite put a name or number on that. Let's just have a look. It was Harry Lee who's just gone down. What a horrible shame. And I don't know where Jodie Fieldhouse is either. She's gone missing straight away. So a rather dramatic start then to this final Superteen day. Of course, you can see weather-wise it's dry, but there are some damp patches. So it's been a bit of a mess. Charlie Farrer here, the champion, is leading this one, number 102, down the back straight, ahead there of number 24, Max Lofthouse. Number 7 and number 6 are then the brothers, Cade and Luke Fervet, who are here to play, trying to get themselves as far up the leaderboard as possible. They're not attended every round this year, Cade and Luke, but with a good weekend and a good finish, Cade looking to try and finish in the top 4 of this championship. He's currently 5th coming into the weekend. Yeah, well, season done then, Sid. Charlie Farrer, the champion on the Kawasaki.
Yes, a mission accomplished, I would say. It was always going to be a difficult season for us, Steve, to be honest. After 20 years of the Aprilia Superteens, probably the most successful one-make series in the world, as our good friend Ian Newton would say, to try and bring it back to previous glories, we obviously decided to open the championship up to various other manufacturers, and in the broadest sense of the word, it has worked. It was always going to be a bit of a slow burner, but it is on the rise again. We've had several things to deal with, not least of which, the British Talent Cup from Dorna, which you'll know all about, and whilst we think that it's a really great idea for British riders and everything else, it was always likely to possibly have an impact on our Thundersport Superteam series, but I'm pleased to report that next year is looking very, very bright for Superteens, and particularly, strangely enough, in regard to a lot of 12-year-olds coming in to play on 125 two-strokes, which of course is still the only machine that you can come into this on as a 12-year-old.
Well, we'll look forward to that then. Of course, the Kawasaki's and the Yamahas have been out to play the 300cc, but the Aprilias have more than matched their efforts at times this year. So let's see what happens at the moment. The Aprilia leads. It's Max Lofthouse who got alongside Charlie Farrer down the back straight, had a good long look over at him as well. Just reminded me of Barry Sheen a bit there for a moment. And Luke Fervet at present got the better of his brother Cade. That might not go down too well when they get back into the paddock. Cade has tended to be the stronger of the two over the course of the season. Max Lofthouse it is though on the Aprilia RRV 450R that has the advantage here ahead of Charlie Farrer, the champion. Stationary yellow flag there as they make their way around Coppice Corner. There was a bit of a wobble there on the exit of Coppice for the race leader Max Lofthouse then, just as they made their way onto the back straight. And we've got waved yellow flags there. I'm wondering whether there's been a little bit of a mishap here. Jodie Fieldhouse, I understand. I think she might have gone missing on the warm-up lap. And yeah, Lofthouse is gone. I just saw the start of a bike going a little sideways on the exit of Coppice there. And he's not there. So Charlie Farrer inherits the lead, the champion, ahead of Luke Fervet and Cade Fervet, the brothers. And so they're going down like flies here. We lost the race leader, Harry Lee. We lost third place, Jody Fieldhouse, on the warm-up lap, it looks like. We've lost Max Lofthouse as well.
Well, I reckon, there'll be some people who'll have chanced their arm out on dries, because it does look dry, doesn't it, apart from the odd wet patch. But because of how cold it is, and how early in the day it is, one of the great things is about these Superteens with the small amount of power is that you could actually get away with wets, and not actually burn them up.
Well, it is pretty cold out there. It might not look it to you right now, but it really is. You see there, number 22. That is Oliver Johnson. We just saw a moment ago as well out on a KTM. GL Fabrications rider Lyndon Leatherland. That is a name and a half.
Certainly is.
Certainly not one that you're going to forget anytime soon. And there is Max Lofthouse in the background then, over at Coppice. I think the rider's okay. He's just being attended to there by Marshall. I'm sure the medics will take a quick look over him. At the front though, Luke Fervet has closed this gap and now challenges Charlie Farrer, the champion. So Luke obviously pretty comfortable in these conditions. He's got suitable heatings on those tyres and looks pretty good. I have to say, the height of Luke Fervet is frightening. He has grown so much just in the space of this year. Yeah. He is towering over that 450.
He's certainly ready for the 600.
But he's also come along very well.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Cade was, I'm not saying, Cade is no longer a competitor's brother, quite the opposite, but there was quite a big difference between the two.
Well, it always happens, doesn't it? Little brothers get as big brothers in the end, don't they? And as time goes on, it's suddenly the difference between them becomes insignificant, The time they're 40, they'll feel like the same age as each other, won't they?
Here is Franco Bourne, just having a bit of a dice there with number 22 and 74, Oliver Johnson and Jay Coldridge from Chelmsford. And there is Luke Fervet again, just challenging Charlie Farrer. We've said time and time again this year, there seems to be circuits that suit the characteristics of certain bikes. Either way, when you really look at it, you put the right rider on any of these bikes that can come in, KTM's, Kawasaki's, Yamaha's, Aprilia's, then there is a very realistic chance that they could challenge for the Thundersport Superteen title. As it is, Charlie Farrer has done the business, and his name will be etched onto a trophy that I'm sure he'll want to treasure, because there are some pretty big names on board on that trophy, likes of Casey Stoner, of course, Cal Crutchlow, many others to boot. Onto the start-finish straight, and a good dice going on here. They're just coming up to lap some riders, but Farrer and Fervet both going at it good and proper. This is the battle further back for 5th place. Bit of a moment there, and it looks like a problem for Oliver Johnson on his KTM as well. The bike has given up the ghost. The rookie switches it off, shakes his head, pulls over to one side, looks to see if he can get it going again, but that's it. Race over, I'm afraid, for Oliver Johnson. Back at the front, it's Cade Fervet that leads from Charlie Farrer, just a bit wide there into Craner curves, but he'll hold on to his advantage. Charlie Farrer there in 2nd place, coming out of the old hairpin and up towards Schwantz curve.
Steve, can I just bring one of the things you noticed or brought to your attention, Max Lofthouse crash, was the flashes of orange in vast numbers running across the gravel trap. And I'd just like to mention that, about the great team. One of the consistent things that we have here at Thundersport GB, one of the things you'll notice at any crashes, and you'll notice this when I bring out my crash video in a week or two's time, ready for the NEC, the one consistent thing is how quickly the marshals are on a rider who crashes. It's the one thing we've got such a brilliant team, mastered by our chief marshal John Pedersen, who's done a magnificent job, but all the officials and marshals this year, like most other years, have just done such a brilliant job for us, Steve, and it's one of the reasons that Thundersport GB has come as far as it is, and one of the reasons why we always get all our races in, and they've really done us proud. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, here, I'll second that. volunteers, men and women in orange, they have to sit through some pretty dismal conditions at times, none more so than yesterday. And there's some loyal supporters in there, folk that have been with Thundersport since day one, and I'm sure folk that are intending on staying around for a few more years. Same goes to the medics as well, of course, and everybody else that volunteers to help Thundersport run along, because without them, this stuff that you're watching right now would not happen. Simple as that. I'm not sure John Pedersen will want me to return to marshalling anytime soon. The last time I stood out and posted John Pedersen, it was after a rather strong night out, and I fell asleep over at Snetterton. So I don't think he's looking for an application from me anytime soon. But anyway, one of many marshalling experiences. This is a good battle going on here between Kawasaki and Aprilia, just highlighting the strengths of each motorcycle. Cade Vervey is further back in third, but his brother Luke challenging for what I think would be his first Super Teen race win. The last lap flag is out, and Charlie Farrer looking to try and stamp some authority now, the champion on his Kawasaki number 102. He's got the outside line here.
He's having a slipstream though, isn't he?
Oh, it's going to be late on the brakes, but Vervey has the advantage up the inside. There will be a few other opportunities though for Farrer to try and go back past him. He's now trying to get the drive through Hollywood, down into Craner Curves. The old hairpin seems like the next opportunity for Farrer if he's close enough. At present he doesn't look like he really is here, although that's a bit of a wide line again from Luke Vervey. Charlie Farrer can't get through there though. So next opportunity, there's a rider just down the gravel trap there as well on this final lap. Hopefully everyone okay. Next opportunity is normally McLean's. Is he close enough to have a look here? Around Schwantz Curve we go. No, a defensive line again from Luke Vervey means that Farrer now has only a couple of opportunities left. One is into Coppice, and you've got to be pretty brave to get it done into there, but the most likely is to get the perfect drive onto the back straight and have a nibble down into the final corner. Further back here is Franco Bourne, number 21. He's just behind Cade Vervey, so Franco's going to miss out on the podium on this occasion.
Luke has definitely come of age, hasn't he? And because, you know, Charlie Farrer, you see, he's not used to trying to beat Luke, is he?
No, he's made himself nice and wide, Luke Vervey, and it might just be done here, but on the drive there and on the power. Oh, a bit of a mistake from Luke Vervey, I think. They're side by side across the line. The checker flag is out. That is photo finish. Photo finish stuff here, and I'm not sure either rider really understands who's won that one. I can tell you, looking at the time screen, Farrer has won it by 11 thousandths of a second. Brilliant racing.
Fair play.
And stamping his authority as the new Thundersport Super Teen champion. Great race there for Charlie Farrer.
Well done, Luke.
Luke Vervey, a brilliant ride from him, but unfortunately second will have to do on this occasion ahead of his brother Cade, who couldn't stick with the leading duo. Franco Bourne was fourth, Jake Aldridge fifth, and Jeremy Knight finishing in sixth place. In the middle there then, race winner and champion Charlie Farrer, and either side the brothers Cade and Luke. Let's see if the Vervey brothers can have a go at Farrer in race 2 in a moment. Donington Park. Time for the final race of the season. Charlie Farrer, with that win and the championship sorted, has decided I don't want to play now. I'll just sit back and watch these guys have a good go. Going out here is number 88, having crashed out in race 1 a moment ago. Harry Lee comes back out again on what looks like a spare bike or spare fairings. So he is on pole position. So no no Charlie Farrer, no Matt Bauer, and an opportunity here for more to go. I'm pleased to say that Jodie Fieldhouse has made it around the warm-up lap this time as well. She's second on the grid, number 18, but it's Harry Lee that gets away fastest. Then Jodie Fieldhouse, number 18. Number 7 in third there is Cade Vervey. His brother Luke, who just missed out on the race 1 victory, just tucked in behind there, number 6. Number 35 coming around there is Jeremy Knight. He is sporting a number that is very, very familiar to many when it comes to Superteen history. Only 2 riders have ever sported the number 35 in the previous Superteens, Cal Crutchlow and Jake Dixon. Not bad company to be around when it comes to the number 35. Around we go, up towards Schwantz Curve and McLean's for the first time. Harry Lee this time has made it a bit further round than he did in the first race. Cade Vervey this time getting away well. Syd, it has dried up quite a bit since this morning. I mean, it wasn't soaking wet, but the circuit is now bone dry, albeit still very cold.
Yeah, and I reckon Charlie's put it in the van because I told him that I'd like his bike on my stand at the NEC. So he thought, well, rather than make it look a bit horrible for any reason, we'll keep it looking nice for Syd. Now I don't know why he's gone home, but
Luke Vervey almost running straight into the back of his brother, then down into the chicane.
That'd go down well, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would not be very good.
That's happened before, of course. Do you remember at France?
Yeah, well, nearly went horribly wrong. Cade Vervey it is that leads from Harry Lee. In the background there, it's a real good scrap actually. Franco Bourne, Jodie Fieldhouse, and now Luke Vervey, who's so late on the brakes. He makes up a couple of places there into.
And he's got a tight line, hasn't he?
A very tight line, yeah. It's not really a wide sweeping line, is it? You see from Luke at all. Can he catch up his brother then? Because he's got a handsome lead here as Cade. They now drop into the old hairpin. Harry Lee in second then. There is Luke Vervey, number 18, Jodie Fieldhouse there up ahead of Franco Bourne. She's beaten him to third overall in the championship. And Syd, a quick word on Jodie. Of course, she picked up a victory earlier on in the season. She doesn't become the first female to finish in the top 3 of the Superteen Championship overall, but she's been up against it a bit, hasn't she, at times?
Oh, she has. She's had so much bad luck, as Jodie, with her bike. Just been some gremlins here and there, and really no fault of anybody's. It's like everybody has just tried so hard to solve that, and you know, she's a real sport though. She's always come through with a smile, and it really hasn't phased her, you know. So, you know, we've all got to be proud of Jodie for that. And really and truthfully, she's had a great season. To end up on the podium in this company after all those problems. The thing is that without her mechanical problems, you know, generally she's been a really consistent sharp end finisher.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, although there have been other riders that have kind of made fleeting visits here and there to this championship, as they were all over the place going into Redgate Corner. Had she got a bike that was set up best for her, she might well have been giving Charlie Farrer a bit more to think about at the sharp end overall. I think the thing is, Syd, as we see here Cade Vervey peeling away, there's always a lot of emphasis on a female rider because there aren't as many as there are males. However, the emphasis is on her mainly because she's done a good job, not because she's, you know, she's a female rider. In the past,
I'll tell you, it's not as bad now, though. I mean, you know, I can remember the days when, like, you know, guys would do anything rather than be beaten by a girl, in inverted commas. But that's kind of, it doesn't seem any longer to be that way, and you know, they're quite happy to hang out with her, and they fully expect her to beat them. If, you know, they've got to be good enough to beat her.
I think that when we look back over Thundersport history, that was kind of put to bed immediately in the very first year that we went running with Jenny Tinmouth, giving Gary May and Rob Hoyle something to think about. And since then we've had a number of females that have graced the paddock that have been very, very good. Not only Jenny Timmoth, who's won races, but Charlie Oakland, of course, has been with us for a long time. Robin Lindsay, to name a few. Georgina Polden, of course, who won the Superteen race.
Wadler.
Yeah, and so yeah. Anyway, it's all good. We are at the moment looking at about for second place though, because Cade Fervet is away with this one out front. His lap times are not necessarily any quicker than those behind, but the first few laps that he put in has really just put the rest of these guys to the sword, and they're not going to catch him now, I don't think, unless he makes a monumental mistake. In terms of lap times, they're into the 25s at the moment. That's about just over a second off the lap record that's still held by former Superteen champion Rory Skinner.
Well, he was no slouch.
Certainly wasn't.
And I think in the other, Max Cook is the other holder, isn't he? In the other, the GP circuit, Donington.
That's right, yeah. So here we go then, down the back straight.
They were blistering laps though, sorry to interrupt there. They were blistering laps, and I sometimes feel a bit sorry for like those trying to pick up the RRV record when George Stanley was on a charge towards the end of one season, and he just obliterated the lap records. He was just so on it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's a good time to mention, by the way, Steve, the RRVs, you know, as well as being in this restricted form for the Superteens here, next year they will be able to compete de-restricted in the stock twins of the Super Twins and Stock Twins races, for various reasons which could be explained. No problem, you know, they've elongated enough, there's been enough built to fit in with our regs, etc, etc. They're about 18 brake horsepower down, but because they're so light, they actually come in and could go out and win a Stock Twins championship. It certainly could win the odd race. So that's always handy to know, because if you're going to buy a Superteen bike, then you can move up as a transgressional move without having to sell or buy other bikes. It's very helpful sometimes.
2-in-1.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a bad way to get your money out, purchase a Superteen bike, restricted, de-restricted, get yourself in the Super Twins, a competitive class.
Well, and they hold their money as well. You don't lose very much on an RRV, it has to be said, because you see, there's very few more being built. I mean, I think Ian Newton has built over 50, but nobody seems to know where they've all disappeared to. In glass cabinets in people's lounges, I suspect.
Well, they're pretty enough to be.
Yeah, they are.
Cade Fervet absolutely home and dry here. He's got this one nailed. This is the battle for second place, though. Is it going to be a Fervet brother 1-2? That would be a first this year. Jodie Fieldhouse has something to say about that as she just moves past Luke Fervet into second place. Harry Lee and Franco Born are doing their very best to try and involve themselves. You might see a couple of Thundersport 500s, by the way, the CB 500s out there. That's because the freshmen, Thundersport 500 freshmen, are out on this grid as well. They were set off at different times. You'll get to see those races on the thundersportgb.com website. But for now, we'll focus our attention on these Superteens as they just come through to pass one of the 500s, and that worked out beautifully for Jodie Fieldhouse. She managed to nip through on a 500 just at the right moment, and that might just cause a bit of a problem there for Harry Lee and Franco Born, who could really do without any traffic in these closing stages. Cade Fervet, it looks like, might just win the final Superteen race of 2017, though. Here he is, flying down the back straight. His brother Luke, unfortunate not to be able to get his hands on a winner's trophy in race one. And Jodie Fieldhouse on this lap has really put the hammer down. In fact, Jodie Fieldhouse has put in the fastest lap of the race at 25.098, and what a time to do it. There is Franco Born, number 21, trying to get on terms with these podium fighters.
Well, if it stayed like this, Warren Fervet, dad of, would be very proud, that's for sure. To have one son up on the top step and another second or third, he'll be very happy, and he must have bitten his nails down to the quicks when Luke was like leading the race in the first one, and certainly would have been the first person to gone over and congratulate Charlie Farrer and his family, for sure. They are very sportsmanlike.
It's fair to say the Fervets have been very busy this year. they make sure that they attend just about as many rounds of any motorcycle championships as
Yeah.
possible. But I have to say, credit to them both as well. They're incredibly versatile young riders as well.
And
I mean,
nice lads.
to jump
Nice
from
family.
to jump from an Aprilia to a KTM to 600,
Yeah, not easy, is
that
it?
is not easy to do.
No.
So credit to them. I'm sure we'll be speaking a
But
lot
they've
more
been
about
very
them
strong
in the future.
supporters of Thundersport GB as well, and we thank them for that. As are a lot of the riders. I mean, Jody, but a lot of them have been strong supporters of Thundersport.
Another lap ticks off, and Cade Fervet, at the moment, well over 8 seconds is his advantage to Jody Fieldhouse. There's his brother Luke in third. In fourth there is Harry Lee on his double 8 racing Aprilia, but it is the Team XG Group Aprilia that leads this one. And Cade will not be caught. Second, third, fourth going through in the background on the Kawasaki. We have Franco Bourne. This could be, I'll tell you what, Sid, there aren't many races this year where we've had all Aprilias on the podium because of the Kawasaki's involvement and a few Yamahas at times.
No, I mean,
I'm sure it has happened once or twice this year, but it isn't a regular occurrence in 2017.
I think it's fairly evenly spread. I mean, as bike-wise, I think there are some circuits that suit one bike and other circuits that suit another bike. But it really is largely down to the rider, the conditions, and, I mean, it's how you feel when you get out of bed in the morning, isn't it? I mean, that can change from one race to another, as you well know.
Franco Bourne there, still in 5th place. Looks like he's going to miss out on another podium here. There is Jodie Fieldhouse in second. She looks like she's really put the hammer down now and has broken Luc Fervet's interest completely. He's got other problems here, Luc Fervet, because closing in is Harry Lee, number 88. So as they make their way onto the start-finish straight, Luc Fervet, and again has a look over his shoulder, and the last lap flag is out. Might have just attracted a bit of unwanted attention there.
Well, Jodie's just done the fastest lap of the race, so you can tell that, as you said, rightly so, the hammer is down.
She's not going to catch Cade Fervet
No,
here,
that's for sure.
but she has pretty much cemented her place in second, and of course she will be attending the presentation as a finisher inside the top 3 of the Superteens. There is Luc Fervet, and Harry Lee is really trying to have a nibble at this, the final race of the season.
He's harrying him, isn't he?
Oh yeah, very good. Sid. He's not going to be able to obviously do anything about it. This has not got anything to do with the championship. It's pride more than anything else. There is Harry still trying to close down on Luke, but he's going to take a big mistake here for anything to change there. The checker flag is out, and it is being made ready for this young man then. The final Super Teen race of 2017 has been won pretty easily by Cade Fervet. Great result, great ride, well done to Cade. He takes the 25 points. And in the background we might just see in a moment, no, Jodie Fieldhouse will come home to finish in second place. She's just going over the line now, so she's got that one sorted out. Going down into the final corners, it will be Luc Fervet that takes third place ahead of Harry Lee. Franco Bourne was 5th and Oliver Johnson in 6th. Cade Fervet the winner then, Jodie Fieldhouse second, and nearest to is Luc Fervet. So good day for the brothers. Farah won the championship then ahead of Matt Bauer, who wasn't here this weekend. Congratulations to those. Jodie Fieldhouse third overall, and Cade Fervet did in the end finish 4th in the championship ahead of Franco Bourne and Scott Ogden. Thanks for joining us in 2017. Enjoy your winter and come back next year for 2018 with Thundersport.